What's good, boys? I'm back. So, once again, it is opening weekend, and this weekend we're talking about Superman. It is currently Sunday night, 5:20. I'm actually going to be coming out with another review tonight, another early look at a film. I'm going to see F1 also with a couple friends. But one of the few family members to watch Superman. I actually didn't plan on seeing this, but it was pretty good, a lot better than I expected, and it makes me more hopeful actually for Superman and other superhero films going forward. So I'm gonna be talking about my thoughts on the film, spoiler free, like what I did with Jurassic World, and yeah, let's get into it. And now I'm gonna preface this sort of look at this film, my impressions and such, from the eyes of someone who's not a huge DC or Marvel fan. I usually lean more towards DC because I like Batman. If I'm gonna watch a superhero movie, I usually watch The Dark Knight. If there's one I'm gonna watch, that's probably my favorite. But in general, I like DC more. I watched the '75 Superman growing up, or was it '78? I watched the '70s Superman. I think it was 1975. It could have been 1978. But anyways, that doesn't matter. This film, I've seen a couple of the Snyderverse films. I didn't really care for those. I didn't watch a ton of them when they were in theaters. I didn't watch any of them actually, I should say, but I did watch them when they came. A couple of them when they came to home movies. So you can really consider this review from the point as kind of more from the standpoint of someone who's not really a huge DC fan. So um, if you like that kind of take, then there you go. But as someone who's not a DC or really superhero fan for that much, not that I hate them or anything, I thought it was a pretty good film. And I think that's saying something for your movie if someone who's not super into like the actual genre of movie enjoys it. Um, I didn't really plan on seeing this, unlike Jurassic World. But I went with a few family members, and it was fun. It was a great movie. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. James Gunn, I liked his Guardians of the Galaxy films. Those are my favorite Marvel films, if I'm being honest. So James Gunn doesn't have a track record of being good. First, let's talk about the actual story. I'm not going to get into spoilers, like I said, but I will say this much. It's not the same Superman you'd expect. It feels kind of like we're at the second movie in a trilogy, and I see a lot of people complaining about that online, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Personally, I actually think it was nice seeing a young version of Superman. People will complain a lot about some of the ways that Superman fights, but again, he's just he's a young Superman in this. I mean, he's gonna have inexperience. Um, but I thought it was a great film. The characters are handled awesome. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. So let me just whip out my notes here. Yeah, David Cornsweet. I could never pronounce his name off the top of my head, but that's the guy who plays Superman. He's really good. He's one of the best Supermen, in my opinion. Superman. I don't know how you'd say it. He's one of the best actors to portray Superman. I think he did an excellent job. He embodies everything that Superman wants to be. Not to get into it too deep into the thicket when it comes to spoilers, but I will say this much about his character when he plays Superman is he acts a lot how you would expect an idealistic Superman to act. He's young and naive, sure, but he's very trusting of people. The movie even makes multiple times where characters will tell him, "Man, you're really trusting of people in like an unnatural way." He's really kind of just like a super caring person. Now, whether or not they're going to snowball this into like kind of the recent trope I've seen in the superhero films, or really films in general where heroes just get like disillusioned. Like I don't want this to turn to like where a Luke Skywalker moment in the new Star Wars films where he just kind of got disillusioned with the Jedi Order. I don't want Superman to get disillusioned with being a superhero. This is a great take on the character. And if we don't get any more superhero films, I mean, at least with this Superman, and I've already lost his name again. But this version of Superman, which I think that's not going to be the case. But if it is, I think this is a great first movie to start with, and I wouldn't complain if this was the last one. It's still pretty good. Heck, it's so good that I actually am going to order the poster for it. I think the poster art is actually really awesome looking. Just kind of as an aside. But the story is handled well, especially the characters, like I was saying. And Lex Luthor, let's talk about him for a second. He's kind of, in my opinion, a hard character to portray, I should say. Stumbling over my words a little bit. The last time I saw him portrayed, I think it was by Jesse Eisenberg, maybe. That was really weird to me. That's a weird person to play that character. And I might be wrong, but I really haven't seen a great Lex Luthor in my lifetime. However, this Lex Luthor was awesome. Can't remember the actor's name. I'm not great with names, but he was awesome. This dude carried a lot of this film. Him and Superman's actor, awesome. It was an awesome dynamic duo. Luther acts exactly. He's eccentric. They're not afraid to make him look bad. One of the things heard videos about it, was that they cut a scene where Crypto the Superdog gets hit, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but I didn't really see where they cut that out. He actually does get hit by one of the villains. So I don't know what they're talking about. I guess they don't. I guess they were talking about not killing him. Maybe I don't know. But anyways, I thought that I thought the Lex Luthor was an intimidating villain. He legitimately feels like the best version of like an evil rich character. He did a great job portraying. The actor did a great job portraying Lex Luthor. I thought it was great. The actual story itself is awesome. It really doesn't push too much like in your face messaging or any of that. Usually, I don't. A lot of new films have like a thing where they like to try and like push subliminal messages down your throat, even though they're not really subliminal. And this film doesn't do that. So I was happy with that, especially with all the controversies about misquotes from the director himself. But either way, that's getting into the tall weeds a little too much, getting into the thicket. But overall, I thought the film was pretty enjoyable. And honestly, with the amount it's made in this weekend so far, it made as much or more than Jurassic World. So I don't doubt, like Jurassic World, we're going to get a sequel for this film. It was awesome. I honestly, it was so good that I might go back to see it. As of right now, I'd give this a 9 or above out of 10. We'll see what I think in the next few weeks, like with Jurassic World. It's kind of how I'm going to be doing these movie reviews from now on, I figure, when I go to see a new movie. So, yeah, just be ready for that in the next few weeks, probably sometime in August. But, yeah, I thought it was a great movie. It was a really well acted, pretty solid film. The only problems I have with it are a few. There are a few. I didn't like Crypto the Superdog. A lot of people like him. I didn't like him that much. He wasn't really, I don't know how you want to say it. He was just kind of annoying. Like, I get that's how a dog acts, and that's solid, but I feel like he kind of just came in at random times to be annoying, and I didn't like personally how they treated him. But I see where you like that, and that might just me kind of just going off complaining about things for no reason. But either way, I didn't really like Crypto the Superdog. And then finally, there's a lot of sort of, and I don't know how you want to say it, but this director, and I've already forgot his name, but since he did Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of that comedy makes its way into this film, if you know what I'm talking about. A lot of since he directed Guardians of the Galaxy, he has clear, definite like styles and like little bits of character that he'll add into the films that you'll see because he directed them. And I don't like that there's comedy a lot in this and serious moments. There's more than a few times where serious moments are undercut by comedy. I don't think it's a great thing. Also, a random shout out, the Cincinnati Museum is shown in this film. It's actually the biggest museum around my area. So there you go. Now you know kind of the area in the country I'm in. But it's kind of weird they just made the headquarters of this like special like secret justice gang a freaking Cincinnati museum. It's really weird to me. But yeah. Anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent. I thought this was a great film. I thought it was really fun to watch. I enjoyed watching this film. And yeah, that's really all I got to say about it. This might be a little jumbled since I'm kind of just chilling right now since my off day, but Yeah, I thought it was a great film, and I would recommend watching it. It's honestly my number one film of the year so far. That'll probably change, but for now, it's my number one. So, yeah, it's getting a solid 9 for me right now. That'll probably change with foresight and maybe one more viewing if I feel like it. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. I will see you probably later tonight, actually, because yeah, I'll be talking about F1. Probably like late at night tonight when I'll get back from that. I'm going heading out like an hour or so to go watch that. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one, and thank you for watching. Jake Rassick out.